Well, speaking of D&M Roofing, we're going to bring on the owner of said company, Eric Oberembt. Eric, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's been a long time since we've had you on the show.
It has. I've missed you guys.
We've missed you too.
And we talk about you, though.
Thank you.
Every Saturday we talk about you.
I feel like, a lot of people talk about me. Hopefully you guys just do it in a good way.
Yeah. We try.
Well, we appreciate you being a loyal sponsor of Grow Omaha, and your company really has been going gangbusters over the last couple of years. How's the market out there?
It's interesting, right? Because things have kind of shifted in the last few years because we haven't gotten the storm, issues that we've had in the past, right? We've all been so accustomed to having hailstorms and, big windstorms and things like that. And we haven't really had that. So our company has shifted to more of a retail, model to be able to help our clients and find them solutions and things like that. So, but things are good for us. I know that there's a lot of people that are struggling out there, but I think that we're a little bit different because we are able to pivot and, and figure out how to keep helping our clients.
Hopefully it's not as difficult as it was this year for the snowplow guys that had maybe 2 or 3 snow removals.
Snow is. I did that like 2 seasons, and that is literally the worst job in the world. So it's awful. I would never do that again.
And the way the snow falls, it's always middle of the night.
Yes, yeah. You're out at midnight and it's wet, and it's just awful. I would not want to do that again.
So roofing. Sorry, Jeff.
No, go ahead.
So you're doing a lot of new roofs that were either you're doing a lot of repairs of roofs right now.
Yep.
But roofs that are kind of aging out and need to be replaced.
Yeah. So we've really started pushing big repair programs because the last thing any commercial owner or property management company wants to do is replace a roof, right? I mean, nobody wants to spend $1 million on a roof. So we've really been pushing repair and maintenance programs and coming out and helping find solutions so that they can have time to start budgeting, for those projects. And then, we hopefully show the value in what we do by being that partner with them so that when the time comes to do that roof to replace it, we're just automatically the guy that takes care of it for them.
So you're talking, and we'll get into some of that stuff that you do to prevent bigger expenses in a moment. But I do want to also ask you about a couple of big issues. And one of them is supply chain. We keep hearing about people who are in the building businesses like roofing, having such a hard time with that. What's it like for you guys, and how are you coping?
So it's the struggle is real. We can get shingles, generally speaking. Low slope is a little bit more difficult. The thing that we're very blessed with is that I made a decision some years ago to go all in with certain suppliers and manufacturers. We're not the company that goes shopping at Menards to go find the cheapest shingles or the cheapest material to try and save $5 a square on a project, right? We went all in with our suppliers and we said, look, you guys are going to get 90% of our business, unless we got to go pick something up somewhere. And because of that, I've been able to make national relationships and partnerships with these people so that when I need material, I get kind of put to the top of the list. That being said, I still never know when I'm going to get it right away. It just gives me an opportunity to get a little bit faster than everybody else. But we have projects that we'll bid out that will tell ownership when we bid them out, it might be 2023 before we can actually get the material. And then I like to under promise, over deliver. And then I make phone calls and chew a little butt if I need to. And I will end up, getting the material a little bit quicker. If we have to go ship it in from, Texas or Missouri or whatever, we'll find it and get it in. But it's not like it was before. To give you an example, where I had a conversation with a commercial owner the other day. We were on the roof and I said, we need to put 3.5 inches of ISO on this roof to get it to energy code rating, blah, blah, blah. And I said, 3 years ago, I'd say, hey, I'll just go order a 3.5 inch piece of ISO and we'll have it in 2 weeks. We don't do that now. It's, do you guys have 2-inch ISO? Do you have 1-inch ISO? We'll put it together. Like, what's the easiest thing to get? What do you have in the back room? That's what we'll buy. And we just buy it up. I mean, if we're at the supply house and my commercial production manager's in there, he'll call me and be like, hey, they got 20 rolls of TPO hiding back here. You want me to buy it? And I'm like, yep, buy it. Just buy it all.
Every one of them.
Buy it all. I got a warehouse. We'll store it and we'll be ready for the next job. So that's the reality that we're living in today. And I hope that in the next year, it starts to come back to normal so that we can, not have to have these awkward conversations with people, because literally our pricing is good for 30 days. We have price increases every 2 months now on material. We just had a price increase yesterday. Again, I think in the last year we've had 4. So if you look at a bid that I gave you a year ago to now, it literally probably went up 20%.
When's
just
the last
because
time
of
there's a
material.
price reduction?
Never in the course of history. And the irritating thing about that is that they always blame it on oil, because so many of our components are made out of asphalt or whatever. And they're like, it went up because of oil. Well, oil goes down.
Right.
So why doesn't my price go down? And it just doesn't. And then people don't believe me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so we have to have that conversation. It's like, look, and I show them. I'm just super transparent, and I'll show them. I'll bring them every letter that we get from suppliers and manufacturers to say, look, these are the price increases that we took. I'm not charging you more for labor. I'm not charging you more profit, like anything like that. But I have to pass this on, and it's just affecting everybody. I mean, we all know what's going on with inflation and everything else. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I can imagine it's awfully difficult trying to keep up with all of that. Well, as we are in this environment in which there are challenges, there are also a lot of opportunities.
Correct.
And understand that you've got a new program and a new product that you're using on a lot of multifamily roofs, multifamily complexes. You want to tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. I'm super excited about this. At D&M, what we really try to do on a day-to-day basis is we try to find new solutions for our clients so that we continue to provide them some kind of value, right? And so I've been literally brainstorming for the last 6 months going, how do we give something else that's going to help them? And we partnered up with a company called Ugly Roof. And what Ugly Roof does, it's a horrible name, but it's a great name because it does explain exactly, what we're working on, right? So you have an apartment complex or a multifamily that has maybe a 10, 15-year-old roof that's starting to age out. You maybe have 5 years left in it before you're going to have to start budgeting for CapEx expenses to replace this roof. That's going to cost a lot of money, right? So what we do is we offer what's called a roof tune-up, where we'll come in, and the things that always fail are granule loss. Pipe boots start to go old, like those no-caulks that go around your soil stacks from your bathrooms, exposed nail heads around vents, all that kind of stuff. That's where you end up getting leaks. So we come in and we do a roof tune-up on the entire property, and then we have this product that actually rejuvenates the shingles, and we spray it on. It's got a fancy oil in it. I'm not a scientist. I've got videos that can explain it, but we wash the roof, install this oil, and it actually will. So if you have like if it's starting to crack, starting to curl on the edges a little bit, the shingles aren't sealing down because of that. It'll actually make the shingles more pliable, and it'll allow them to lay back down, reseal, and not have any more granular loss, so that we can get you another 5 years or so, and the roof will look brand new. So you've seen them when you drive around, you see they're starting to streak, right?
They start all the time.
Yep, they start to streak. This eliminates all of that. So now you have what looks like a brand new roof from curb appeal standpoint. You have a functionality addition to it because you're not losing granules. We've resealed and we've repaired everything that's wrong with the roof. Now you have time to budget, and hopefully you can run it out of OpEx money as a property management group, so that you can throw it into nets, which obviously is beneficial, for ownership and everybody. So we're really excited about this. I'm excited to get in front of a lot of people to tell them about it, and see the value that we can bring to them.
Hey, on more of a personal note, you're heavily involved in an organization called Roofers in Recovery. And I want you to kind of touch on that a little bit before we wrap up and talk about some news that people might find interesting there.
Yeah. Have we ever talked about Roofers in Recovery?
I think we have.
I don't know. Maybe it's been a while.
Okay, yeah. Well, real quick, what Roofers in Recovery is, I'll just tell that first. A couple of years ago, a friend of mine, Paul Reed, who owns Northwest Roofing out in Denver, he and I are both sober. And he called me up and said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could send one person to treatment a year just to give back? Because we both went to a rehab facility and it saved our lives. And I was like, sure, what does that look like? Like, I don't even know what that looks like. And he was like, I don't know, let's throw 10 grand into a pot and see if we can send one person. So we did that, and all of a sudden our phone started ringing off the hook with people that wanted help. And so we were like, wow, we need to make this real. And so we turned it into a real 501c3, and we started doing fundraising events and all that kind of stuff. And in the last 2 years, we've sent over 20 people to treatment.
That's great.
Awesome.
We decided that wasn't enough, and we wanted to be able to send 50 people a year to treatment. To do that, we need to raise $750,000 a year to be able to afford that and add admin staff and all that, to run the day-to-day. So we came up with the idea of having National Roofers in Recovery Day. So we got contractors across the country to sign up, and on June 3rd, which after this would be yesterday, we wanted to get 150 contractors across the country. I think we've got around 80 to 100 signed up right now to donate the profits from one roof that's built on that day. So pay your subs, pay your suppliers, and then donate just the profits of the roof to Roofers in Recovery. And if we can get that done, we can raise anywhere from $400,000 to $600,000 in one day. So then we can focus on actually helping people and sending them where they need to go to get that help and help put families back together again. So this is the day, right? Like June 3rd was the day, and we'll know next week if everybody honored their commitment. So this is a really big deal. So we're really excited about what can happen.
That's awesome. I know you've been outspoken about recovery, and
Yep.
and you've done an amazing job encouraging other people to get the help that they need, and you're very open about your trials and tribulations, which is part of your process, and a lot more people should follow your lead.
Yeah, it's been a journey. There's a lot of people out there that don't want to talk about it because of the stigma associated with being in recovery and addiction and alcoholism and things like that. And we're literally trying to change the conversation. We're trying to change the narrative because in roofing, I mean, let's just be frank, it's a very male-dominated industry, right? And it's full of a bunch of alpha males that don't want to ask for help, right? I mean, I didn't want to, right? I wanted to figure it out on my own. And we're trying to we go to conferences and we speak on stage and talk about it and say, you don't have to be afraid to ask for help. We all did it. And that's why I'm so outspoken about it, because I feel like if one person can see me opening up and not being ashamed of my past and the fact that it got me to where I am today, that maybe they can do the same thing. They can step up. They can make a phone call and say, hey, man, I don't know what to do. I need help. And then that gives us the opportunity to help that one human, right? And that changing the life of that one human is going to change the lives of hundreds of humans down the line, with the ripple effect, with a wife, with kids, with family, with what happens with his kids' kids, because they didn't have to grow up in that same atmosphere that could have happened if he didn't get the help that he needed. So we're trying to make literally legacy changes in people's lives.
Well, it's
very noble cause.
Thank you.
Eric, we appreciate you joining us today, and always appreciate your sponsorship of Grow Omaha, and continued success to you and your colleagues at D&M Roofing.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
D&Mroofing.com.
There you go.
You got it. All right. That was Eric Oberembt, president and owner of D&M Roofing. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.